All right, let's talk about a big idea today, Agile marketing. We're going to frame this as a brand new operating system for marketing teams, one that's designed to not just survive, but actually win in a world that feels like it's changing every single second.
I mean, does that hit a little too close to home? It's such a perfect way to describe that feeling, right? You've got all this power, all this technology, but your processes are from another era. If you've ever felt that insane disconnect, then stick around because this is for you.
So first, let's really dig into the problem. Why do so many marketing efforts, even with the best tools, feel like they're just stuck in the mud?
I bet this list looks pretty familiar. You know the drill. You've got your teams all walled off in their own little silos. The social media people don't really talk to the SEO people. You spend months creating these massive, rigid marketing plans that are basically useless a week after you print them. And oh, the endless approval chains that just kill any kind of momentum. It's exhausting.
And here's the bottom line. The problem isn't your team, it's the system they're forced to work in. It's like we're trying to win a Formula One race, but our rulebook was written for a horse and buggy. It just cannot keep up.
So that brings us to the solution. It's time for a system upgrade. Let's talk about installing a new OS, one built from the ground up for how marketing actually works today.
And that's really what Agile marketing is at its heart. Look, it's not just another buzzword or a new tactic to try. It's a whole new framework, a complete shift in mindset, with a toolkit designed to help you thrive in chaos instead of being overwhelmed by it. And you know, this isn't some brand new, untested idea. It actually has pretty deep roots. It all started back in 2001 with software engineers who were just fed up with these huge, slow, failing projects. Then, fast forward to 2012, a group of really smart marketers got together for something they called Sprint0, and they adapted those core ideas for the unique world of marketing. And today, it's a proven, battle-tested framework. These values, this is the core of the whole thing. It represents a massive shift in how you think. It's about letting actual data, not just the highest paid person's opinion, guide your decisions. It's about tearing down those silos to actually collaborate for the customer. And it's about making a bunch of small, smart bets instead of one giant, risky one. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Now let's get into the good stuff, the how. What does this Agile toolkit actually look like day to day? The easiest way to think about it is that it's built on two really powerful pillars. You've got the disciplines, which are the practical, hands-on things your team can start doing tomorrow. And then you have the shifts, which are the deeper cultural changes you need to make for this whole thing to really stick.
So discipline number one is all about your structure. Instead of organizing your teams by what they do, like SEO or content, you build small, cross-functional teams around a mission, like customer retention. A great example is RMS, which created these squads. They found they were way faster and made a bigger impact because everyone they needed was right there, on the same team, focused on the same goal. No more handoffs.
Next up, you need a way to manage the actual work. And there are two main flavors here, Scrum and Kanban. Think of Scrum as being perfect for projects. You work in these short, fixed-length bursts called sprints to get a specific chunk of work done. Kanban, on the other hand, is built for a more continuous flow of work. Think of a content team that's always publishing. The focus there is all about making that flow smoother and faster.
And listen, if you only take one thing away about Kanban, let it be this: limit your work in progress. It's called a WIP limit. It literally means you stop the madness of multitasking. By limiting how many things your team is working on at once, you force everyone to finish things before starting new ones. It's a total game changer for focus and for quality.
Now we get to the engine of Agile marketing, the build, measure, learn loop. This is the heartbeat of the whole system. You build a small experiment, you measure its impact, and you use real, actionable metrics like conversion rates, not vanity metrics like likes. And then, most importantly, you learn from the data and decide what to do next. It's a constant cycle of getting smarter.
I love this quote from Sergio Zyman, the former CMO of Coca-Cola, because it just nails the spirit of this. The story goes that his CEO saw an ad and said he didn't like it. And Zyman's response was basically, with all due respect, it doesn't matter if you like it, I have to make ads that consumers like. It's all about letting the data from the real world, not opinions in the boardroom, be your guide. And this brings us to what might be the single biggest cultural shift of all, moving from outputs to outcomes. It's the difference between celebrating how much you did versus celebrating what you achieved. We wrote 10 blog posts as an output. We increased qualified leads by 30%. Now that is an outcome. One is just being busy, The other is creating real business value.
So you put all this together, the new structures, the new processes, this new mindset. What's the actual payoff? Let's look at some real-world results you get from this new operating system.
How about this for a payoff? A 9 times increase in revenue per user. That's a real stat from an Amplo study. And how did they do it? By focusing on the outcome. They actually sent fewer emails, but they were much higher quality. It's the perfect example of focusing on impact, not just activity.
The stories about adaptability are just incredible. You have Oracle, which built a mission-critical website in a matter of weeks, not months, to handle a crisis. You have Vail Resorts, which completely reinvented its guest experience during a recession to build fierce loyalty. Or think about the early days of the pandemic. Agile teams were tracking what people were searching for in real time and changing their entire messaging strategy overnight to meet those new needs.
So when you boil it all down, the payoff is this incredible trifecta. You get speed, you get a much bigger impact on the business, and you get resilience, the ability to handle whatever the world decides to throw at you next.
Which really just leaves us with one final big question. We all know the next major disruption isn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The principles we've talked about here are the blueprint. The real question is for you. How can you start building this kind of adaptability right into the DNA of your own team?